Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into another video. Today, I'm here to talk about our newest champion in the realm, Octavia. She just got showcased just a couple of minutes ago on the showcase of what it seems to be the patch name Indomitable. Whatever, I don't know English, don't ask. But basically this new damage champion, before anyone starts asking, it's a damage champion, not a flank, it's a damage. It holds 2,200 HP, and I'm here to just break down basically her abilities and showed you what they showed on the showcase and actually explained, because I feel like some people did not actually understood a couple things. You may have some questions. Feel free to ask them as well in the comments down below. It's completely fine. But let's start off with her passives before we go into her kit, because I feel like this is the biggest confusion of everyone. When you start the game, you are asked which passive you want, right? And this passive remains until the end of the game. You cannot change it anymore. Now, obviously, I feel like this is still in an initial state, so I think if you try to press the button to change your loadout, this will pop out first, because this is technically speaking part of our loadout. It's completely separated from the talents though, okay? The talents will still be picked after the passive, so whatever passive you decide, it will be yours, and you can see it on the scoreboard. It will show up before the cards of Octavia, okay? So you have these 4 different passives. One of them gives a 10% reduced cooldown to everyone in the entire team for all their cooldowns. You got this one for every 5 champions eliminated by your team in general. Like, it doesn't even have to be you. It can be 5 champions by your entire team. 5 people on the enemy team has died, boom, 150 credits for everybody. This may not look like it, but it's actually really broken stuff. This one, it gives you a shield. As soon as you respawn, you have a 500 HP shield, almost like what the Torvald gives you. But guess what? This does not disappear until you get it destroyed, okay? So people shoot at you and destroy it. And finally, this one that will also give 15% increased ultimate charge rate to your entire team. So other characters that already have like cards and talents that increase that all charge, it's gonna stack, but there's diminishing returns, so it's not actually going to work that exact same way as you're thinking, right? Oh, he has 30%, I have 15% from Octavia, so that goes to 45. No, there's diminishing returns, and you need to understand that. If you don't know what diminishing returns is, it's basically something to prevent that you can just go to crazy numbers. There's a limit, and that limit makes that every new bonus added to it, it becomes smaller based on what you already have. So this one will not be 15% if you already have it on the other, you know, somehow on another card or talent or even item in this case. All right, so after you select the talents, the passives, you basically select your talents, your cards, and here it's where it shows where that passive is, so the entire team can tell. It's good because if imagine somebody's new at playing Octavia and you're like, hey, that's not the best passive, maybe you should change it, and they'll change it because they can still change it on the spawn, on the first spawn, not another spawn, okay? This is what I'm trying to tell you. You can never change this over the game. After you select it and it's locked, it's pretty much like your loadout in your cards. It will stay there forever. You will not be able to change it. Now, when it comes to her loadout, her weapon does 500 damage every 0.3 seconds, and it has a max of 12 bullets. You can increase the bullets, okay? In case you did not know that, you can increase the bullets by adding some cards. And then for a second ability is a scope. A medium range scope, not like Strix scope. There you go. It's more like a mixture of Strix and Victor almost. And here's the thing, it makes you a lot more accurate. Okay, you're gonna be able to laser people a lot easier. And the thing is that it also reduces you 50% of your movement speed. So this is also almost going to be like a Vivian. If you can increase your base movement speed, the penalty is not going to be that huge compared to what you are by just base. So anything that you can make her move faster, it will also make her move faster while scoping down, which it's pretty great. Obviously, this reduces your entire inaccuracy, so you're going to be able to hit a lot more shots. If you try to hip fire without the scope, obviously you're going to miss a lot of shots. It's not going to be easy to hit because you could just spray. Like, it's really fast. It's almost like as fast as shooting, let's say, Tyra. Like, you can shoot those shots really fast, but they're a lot more heavy in certain way. It will hit a lot harder because they do 500 damage. So this is why they don't really want you to just be accurate with no scope. It would be pretty bad. Now here's the thing. There is an ability tied up for this one, and not actually tied up as well. And I'll explain. Her movement ability, it is a commander's leap, and what it basically does, it allows you to jump around in all directions. Like pretty much the dodge roll Cassie, where you can go wherever you want, and here it is. So you can jump to any direction you want, and here's going to do it again as well. Okay, but here's the thing. There's the scope can tie it up with this ability. There is another passive ability that if this passive ability is actually for the scope, not for Octavia. So if you scope while in the air, it doesn't have to be with the jump, but you jump and in the air, you just scope in for 2.5 seconds. You basically can now levitate in the air. So you stop your momentum from the leap and you can stand there on the highest point you want, and then you can start shooting from there with your scope. But the thing is, initially my question was, can you do this at all times, or can you only do it with the jump? And guess what? You can do it by just, just walk off a ledge and just use it, and it will work. I don't think there's anything here that shows it, but this is how it looks like, at least when you jump. And there you go. You stop for 2.5 seconds in the air and you can then just shoot, which is pretty awesome. Now on to her distortion field, which is like a shield that you guys were talking about. The shield doesn't actually shield from anything. The damage goes in and goes out. The thing is, what the shield does, and it's pretty simple to understand for people who have been playing here for a while, it's the smoke bombs from Sky, but from a long time ago. So what they would do is they would completely block the vision to your enemies when they were inside of it. But it does the opposite as well. So if you're standing outside and you're looking in, you cannot see anyone inside. Of course, if you're the enemy from, the enemy from the Octavia that just threw that distortion field. So if your allies and your enemies as well are both inside of the bubble, you cannot see it because that bubble is not from your team. If it is from your team, you can see it, and that's pretty cool. There's also another passive ability tied to this one, to the scope actually, which means that Octavia can actually see through enemy distortion fields, but it has to use the scope. So if there's an Octavia versus another Octavia, and one of the Octavias uses the distortion field, the enemy Octavia can then just look at the distortion field with the scope and see inside of it. All right, I don't think I can find here real quick the time where he does that, but I can tell you for sure that it's easy to understand on that part. So here is the part where he's going to use it, I think. And there it is. And now you scope, you can see it. He stops scoping. He was not scoping before. So when he's gonna start, he's not gonna be scoping. So he's not gonna see it. And now he scopes and he can see it. So there you go. As long as that field, this is how it looks to the enemy, by the way, but as long as that field is not from your team, the only way you get to see it is by being Octavia and actually scoping into it. Okay, so it's pretty complex stuff, honestly, if you ask me. People were all saying that this champion was going to be so easy, so simple, and instead it has a ton of passives. Honestly, I think it's a little bit too much, but we'll just see how it works out on PDS. And for those wondering when is PDS coming out, there's no date yet. It will probably be told to us as soon as possible, all right? I do not assume that it's going to be on this weekend, just because with all of this going on, the new event pass and so on, which I'm also going to be coming up with a video for that, we may have a lot of things that may be breaking left and right in the PDS, so they may want to have that as clear as possible for us. So let's continue, and let's talk about her ultimate, which it's not the most breaking ultimate in the game, honestly, but it's pretty damn cool. The ultimate, what it does is in a straight line, you look and you aim, you just press your ultimate button and automatically thunders. Lightnings start striking down. in a straight line. They'll start going in a straight line. So there's one smaller one that hits first that does 100 damage. And if it enters in contact with shields, it destroys them. And then there's another one that does 850 damage. And that one is a little bit larger. It's still easy to evade in you know, it doesn't do massive damage, but it can still force an entire team to back out or to just completely walk to left and right for it. So yeah, you got to be careful about that. All right, so that is for her base kit. Now let's look into her talents and cards, okay? Let's start off with her talents, and we're gonna go for the default talent that you get straight away. This talent, what basically does, it creates like a healing pool on the ground after you do a commander's commanding leap, or whatever it's called, and it will heal for 600, but it's over 1.5 seconds. So it's gonna be like tick little heal ticks, and it's going away all the way to 600. Also, Octavia will not consume ammo while standing inside of this field, that it will last for 1.5 seconds. And it also says that off this field or maximum 1.5 seconds. So this means that, imagine you just did the leap. You fell down, you created that pool of heals in there, and you walked away from it. Supposedly you would lose that infinite ammo thingy, but instead what you can do is, until that pool ends, you will be able to do it even if you're not standing inside of it. Okay, so you'll have a pool of heals, 600 for you and everyone inside of it, and infinite ammo for 1.5 seconds after the pool starts. Okay, that's it. You don't need to understand a lot more. Then at level 2, you're going to unlock the other talent that will basically make her distortion field actually do a little bit more. Because in case you don't understand before, distortion field, like I told you, it can hide people or block their scythe to the enemies, and only another Octavia can look inside with a scope and see, right? So that's pretty cool, but it also slows down people by 10%. This talent is gonna make it even worse, because this talent is gonna harm people. It will do 250 every 1 second while people are standing inside, and it will heal your allies for 125 for every 1 second while they're standing inside. Of course, this refreshes every 0.5 seconds, so I'm just summing it up for 1 second so you can have like an easier number to understand, but these are the real numbers right there. All right, and then finally at level 8, you're going to unlock the other one that makes her ultimate a little bit stronger than normal. Basically, enemies will be rooted in place if they're hit by the pre-fire beam. That is the smaller beam that does 100 damage, okay? And every single beam overall, like the entire ultimate itself, will deal 600 extra damage, which will be spread around through the entire thing. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the large beam is going to do 600 damage straight away. I don't think that's it, because this may not be completely explained. But either way, when it comes out on PDS, we're going to be testing all these talents and so on, and I want to make sure everything is completely understood. Now let's look at a little bit into her cards real quick. These are the base cards. Increase her health, increase her ammo, reset the cooldown of the leap if you drop below X amount of health, and also increase your movement speed after getting a kill or elimination. Okay, so after that you go into the commanding leap cards, and you have one that will increase the jump strength of the leap, another one that will give you damage reduction while the leap is active, another one that will reduce the cooldown of distortion field after activating the leap, and finally, one that will reduce the weapon recoil by using the leap, while using the leap, basically. Now into distortion field cards, the first one will basically reduce the damage you take inside of that field. The other one will reduce the cooldown of the jump if you're standing inside of the distortion field, but I think there may be an internal cooldown here, just like the card that will reset the jump if you're really, really low. It usually has an internal cooldown, like you can only use it once every 5 seconds or so. We don't know that time here because it doesn't say here, but when we get to PDS, we're also going to confirm that. And then we get priority requisition that reduces the cooldown of the distortion field by base. This is like just the standard reduce the cooldown of the ability thing. You can also increase the size of the distortion field all the way to 20%. That's pretty cool. Now into finally the 4 final cards. which basically will be for the iron sights, the designated sights, that's how they're named. And it'll generate ammo after getting a killing blow or elimination, as long as you're using that scope, okay? You got another one that will basically generate ult charge if you're using the scope when you get eliminations or confirmed kills. You also have a card that will reduce the penalty. Remember me telling you that you're going to be having a 50% penalty while moving around? Well, this will take it away if you want to. You can put this all to the way to the max. It says 100%, and you may be thinking, oh, that's even going to make it faster. No, that's 100% of the penalty, which is 50% of her base speed. So if you use this card at max, she will no longer have any penalty speed while scoping in, okay? And then finally, it will also reduce the time all the way up to 50% of how much time it takes for you to aim down that side, okay? Now, here's the tricky thing. I'm not entirely sure about this, and I kind of already asked somebody, but apparently it's actually going to be like this. This is still, yeah, this is actually going to be Season Pass skin. I thought this would be the recolor, since usually the recolor just has like a different thing. In this case, she's missing the hat. And this one would go to the Season Pass, since usually the silver skins go to the Season Pass. Instead, it's the other way around. This one will be the recolor, and this will be the Season Pass skin. So if you don't own the Season Pass, you will not be able to get this skin. But you can still buy this one for 200 crystals to 60,000 gold, which is pretty good. Obviously, at level 50, you're going to get this. They did not show this on the showcase, but I believe after a change they did on PDS, we're going to be able to see it on the PDS. But even though there's still going to be probably, you know, a little bit of a grind for this skin. But it's free. There's still a lot of people with a lot of confusion when it comes to golden skins. It's free. You just need to be level 50 with her, okay? You don't actually need to pay for it, okay? There. All right, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the champion, Octavia, all right? I'm not going to be going into the rest just yet because the rest has its own unique things. And it's a little bit more complicated, so I want to leave that on a different video, okay? And so if you have any questions whatsoever about Octavia that at least I know the answers for, feel free to ask down below on the comments, and I'll try to help you. If it's something that we just can't know or we don't know in 100%, I either can try to ask some people the answer, or we're just gonna wait for the PDS and try to find it out. Again, I don't know when PDS is coming, but trust me, if it comes out, I'm gonna be playing it as soon as it opens, 100%, okay? So just feel free to check out my Twitter and my Twitch and my Discord. Notifications will be all over the place to let you know I'm on PDS. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, again, feel free to go down in the comments below. And don't forget, I'm going to be coming up with more explanations for the rest of the event pass and etc. And I'll see you guys on that video. Until then, have a wonderful time. Stay safe. Bye-bye.